Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano. It is Twilight Friday. We're about to kick off our Friday 9-race card this afternoon with the beautiful conditions right now in South Florida, especially if you like nice warm weather. Got a fast main track. We got the Tapeta this afternoon, and we ready to roll for another nice weekend. Of course, Brian, tomorrow,
Yeah.
first leg of the Florida Sire Stakes Series.
Exciting, right? I mean, we wait a long time for this, and hope always springs eternal with the 2-year-old. We run a lot of 2-year-old races, and tomorrow, I mean, both divisions, but especially the Colts, the Dr. Fager division came up really, really salty. Looking forward to those tomorrow. Two really, really good stakes, and like I said, it's always fun to see how these 2-year-olds progress and where they're going and what they're going to be getting into down the line.
And by the way, a little later on this afternoon, race number 4 to be exact, we have a $350,000 gross jackpot guarantee this afternoon. And there you see it, $350,000. That's races 4 through 9.
Getting up there, right? Getting up there. And we've talked about this lately. There's been several last races of the day where there's been some single tickets out there. So get involved. It's starting to get up there to a big number, but get involved and for a potentially life-changing score.
Well, let's get right into Friday's action. The first race is going to be about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta for maiden claiming filly 2-year-olds, $35,000. A couple of early scratches a little earlier on with the 6 Albright and the 7 Diosa Fortuna. So, Brian, you put an early pick 5 ticket together.
I did. Scratch down to $16 here for this early one. We'll get to this race in a second. You see a lot of 3s there. Merzaz is on top in race 2. For me, a single and economic hangover. My best bet on the card in race 3. 27, Sensei Lawrence on top, right back. We'll have a replay for Aubrey Mirage coming up. And then in race 5, the order is 62. My long shot play of the day, Racing Colors for Matt Williams, coming right back off of maiden claiming win last time.
$16, very affordable. And the current 2-to-1 favorite when you look on the board right now, if you're watching us out there, is the number 3, Lady Liv. But I went a little different way. I went with the horse you have in second in here, and that's The Love is Awesome, was the daughter of Awesome Slew, debuting for our leading trainer, Safi Joseph Jr. Solid morning workout showing, and Edgar Zayas will be in the saddle. I found this stat. I just got to show you. This is all-encompassing stat over the last 5 years. When Safi Joseph Jr. and Edgar Zayas team up, 172 for 589 for a 29% win average. 59% in the money, and after all these years, still a positive return of investment.
That's the big thing there.
Yeah.
I mean, a perennial, leading trainer and jockey, and there you are getting a positive ROI. It's somewhat remarkable. And the other thing I want to mention, too, you look in your form and you see Sappy is 16% with first-time starters. Well, that was about 12 or 13% maybe a month ago. So he's really amped it up. He's got good 2-year-olds. We highlighted them in the lightning round last week when he won a couple on his 5-day win card. He won 2 firsters, and Love is awesome. She's not going to have to be a monster to play with these at first asking. The Dam was 1 for 6. Did take her 5 starts to break her maiden. The other 6 full. The other, not a lot going on here. But again, we're talking about a $35,000 maiden claimer, so maybe you're not going to see huge pedigrees in these type of spots.
Well, the number 9 you put on top, she's hot, red hot as the daughter of Texas Red, but I know why you picked this horse. This is a half-sister to Bad Beat Brian. If you sit next to him, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you remember, Bad Beat Brian won the claiming crown. Canterbury here, debuts with David Fawkes. I knew you would get a kick out of
Yeah,
that.
he won a couple times at Fairgrounds 2 years ago, too, when I was there. And I'm just like, what I got to hit myself over the head with a board here or what? But I like being outside in these kind of spots with first-time starters. Dave, we know how good of a job he does all told, and he's really kind of amped it up. And on the Tapeta, he's been so good since we got that surface in, which is, we're coming up on a year now. And She's Red Hot is drawn well. Several works on display. None of them really stick out, but it certainly looks like she's coming to the table, Ronnie, with a lot of foundation to her.
Very, very, very early in the wagering, but I always wanted to point out when you get these first-time starters, and especially 2-year-olds, watch the board. Look at the money the 2 just took now. Insaddable Eva, who's 20-1, was not even up there before, now 6-5, so somebody plunked some money down. Something you keep your watch as it goes on. I'm sure that is going to change as the afternoon, I should say, progresses. We're going to go to the Tapeta, but we're going to go longer on the Tapeta in race number 2. About 1 mile and 70 yards. Claim is 3-year-olds of 4 and up. Non-winners of 3. races in life, $8,000. And I know you like the number 3 Merzaz in here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Miguel Vasquez lands here. I'm going to draw a line through the dirt race, but let's focus on the routing Tapeta races. They've been very, very good. The 1-2 back was a good second against Better. I think this is a pretty crafty claim by Jennifer Young. Rises back in class a little bit. And again, getting back to the Tapeta, to me, is the big deal. And the fact that our leading jockey gets aboard, too. Maybe there's some intent here today.
Yeah, I think that horse figures prominently. I did go with the horse you have in second, Mayor Remo, who moves to the Najib Abu Ghadia barn after the claim, after a really solid 2-race campaign at this level. Includes that rousing score as the even money favorite last time out. Edgar Perez is going to ride. Edgar just been riding in great form.
Without a doubt. You know, the only nitpick I'll have here is we claim this one from Jose D'Angelo, tough to improve. But the thing about Major Remo is I think he probably can regress and still beat this field. It's not the saltiest field we've seen. We'll just see what we get today for a different barn, but there's no doubt about it. 8-5 on the morning line. On paper, he's every bit of that.
And the number 5 Osprey, who we both have some interest in, is dropping to the 8 level after tracking the action. Finished sort of an okay third against 12-5 condition claimers, going a mile 70 yards under Tapeta for Kathleen. Edwin Gonzalez dropped down today.
Yeah, we know how good of a job Kathleen O'Connell does. We get Edwin Gonzalez as well. The form stacks up. If Major Remo comes back a little bit, this one really becomes that much more wide open.
Race number 3 this afternoon is about a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta, so that's 3 in a row on the Tapeta. Maiden special weight, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. And I believe this is your best bet today for Safi Joseph Jr. with the number 3 Economic Hangover, who I didn't even put on the board.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, you know, we debut at Churchill for Ramsey Homebred. Breaks in the parking lot on debut, and not a lot went. You know, I don't want to say had a lot of trouble, just didn't do a lot of running. This is a class drop. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Probably back with some friends. They were 18-1 that day as well. And, you know, it's happy about 27, 28% second out maidens going long on the turf. It's a tough ask to do on debut. Well, now I think we get the, you know, we get the big push forward today. Edgard Sappi, you showed the stat already. Yeah. I think we can build on that 211 ROI in here.
Well, I use the number 5 you have in second on top. That's Sharon's girl, who finished third in her only previous race on the Tapeta, albeit that was sprinting. Returns to the all-weather surface after shaking off a slow start. I thought ran very well to finish third. And that was against winners on the turf in the $75,000 mile in the 16th. Martha Washington for Laura Cesares, and has this daughter Palace working pretty well.
Big run last time, right, in the stakes. Lasix came off, so it goes back on today in a non-stakes race. And, you know, the thing is, too, Ronnie, you mentioned the Tapeta race. I think probably she's just a better horse now than she was then, and she's got the extra turn to work with. So I can make a case that she's the one to beat.
I used the other Safi on my ticket. That's the Spirit of Power, the $140,000 daughter of Lord Nelson, making a host of changes today in return. So she's debuting under Tapeta, stretching out around 2 turns for the first time. Safi's good with all those, over 20% with the layoff, with the Tapeta move, and with the sprint to root angle. So lots of things here. Thought I'd take a little bit of shot with this horse.
Yeah, had some trouble last time. Could easily showed this race, too. I don't think she was going to win, but she probably would have been a little bit closer. And now, like you said, he's thrown a lot of things at the wall today to see what's going to stick. Hasn't done a lot of running in either start. Maybe the 2 turns, maybe the route of ground, maybe the surface switch wakes him up today.
And the number 7, just want to touch on before we take a little break, is a $180,000 daughter of Malibu Moon, who gets the blinkers gets blinkers today after rallying to finish an even 4th, going 8.5 on the Tapeta for Tom Proctor. Kevin Krieger handling outside draw today.
Yeah, Tom's had a really, really high percentage, good year, and this one's not out of it. If you get 5s on this horse, 5-1, that's a square price.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. This one, the fourth race of the 1 mile allowance on the fast main track. Allowance optional claimer, $25,000 to tag. Did have a couple of early scratches in here with the 1 and the number 6 horse in here. And let's look at my Rainbow 6 ticket. I love the chances of Klugman today. I'm going to single it right away. 43.20 for me. Got lots of coverage going on. We'll talk about this race in a moment. 3 deep in race number 5. My top pick is going to be 8 Countless Dreams, but I use me Negrita and California Gigi. Race number 6, just 2 deep in. I think the race goes through Nice Baby for Jorge Delgado, but I use Shiloh, who's the daughter of Gervin. That has been doing okay. Race number 7, lots of action in there with Mo Clips, Splicer, and Rubisa. And then in the 8th, got my long shot Traves. I don't know what I'm going to get today, but that's a tough race. I went 4 deep in there. I think a lot of horses win. The morning line favorite I added later on. And in the last, I think Irish Samurai, My Song and Melody, and Mudchef might be the right way to go.
That feature today, the 8th race, is a really, really good one. Like you kind of hinted at, you could go several different ways in there.
Yeah, and getting back to this race number 4, I love the chances of Klugman today, whether there were scratches in the race or not. And I'll tell you why. This one's going to return to the main track, cut back to 1-turn mile. Broke poorly last time out, rushed up in that race to stalk the pace, for finishing 3rd. That was in the $75,000 mile in the 16th. Not surprising, which was moved from the turf to the Tapeta. I think this horse's game is sprint, running on the main track. Eddie Plesa Jr., Kevin Krieger, $140,000 daughter of Practical Joke.
And we got to mention Magic Eclipse. The 1 is out, but the most important one is Luddington. The 6 is out, and now Klugman might have been loose anyway. Now with Luddington out, he certainly is loose. He's kind of got that slow race, fast race pattern going, the plus minus, and that means he's coming back around to a good one today. As you said, that was 2 turns last time as well. He wants to sprint. He wants to run a 1 turn on the main track. He gets it today.
Then number 2 is Sensei Lawrence, who you have on top, is stepping up, stretching out, and I think you got a video you wanted to show.
There's not a lot going on here. I just wanted to show how good this horse was last time, and maybe you see this here, and he just kind of wins for fun. Like, he can handle this class rise here. I understand he was 7-10 this day, but he's just going to toy with this field here today, and he's not going to let Klugman get too far away early on. He's the one that maybe is on the hard chase here, and like I said, he's going to keep him in his sights. He's in raging form here for Aubrey Mirage. We know how good this barn is. And Sensei Lawrence, class rise and all, I think he's a huge threat here, Ronnie. Right back, I think he can handle it today. So I expect another big effort from him. With that being said, Klugman firmly in my mix in this early pick 5 because he's got a huge flow advantage now.
Yeah, there you see Sensei Lawrence winning at 3-5. But check out this stat here, just to add to the appeal of this horse with Aubrey Mirage. Sprint the route on the dirt here over the last 5 years. He's 11 for 20. That's 55%. 65% in the money, and the return of investment is $5.16.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good stat, so that's how that'll be playing out. So just to add to that fact that, I'm going to try and just fade everybody with Klugman in there. We'll see how it goes. But what about the 4, Father Glatter, who scratched out of the Bears Den Stakes on Saturday to run here, debuts on the main track. Go long. He went long on the turf. He went long on the Tapeta. He was 3rd in the $100,000 Dania Beach. The Connections want to try this horse on the dirt today, and that's Jose D'Angelo with Sonny Leone.
Yeah, I'm not going to get in Jose's way. He's so good with everything he does. This is going to be interesting, though, because he's never tried, not only has he never tried the main track, he's never tried 1 turn either, Ronnie, and this is going to be quick for him. It's going to be sharp because Klugman and Sensei Lawrence are going to go, and they're going to go hard in here. What do we get today? I don't know, but we've got Declaration of War out of a Giants Causeway mare. Certainly a lot of dirt in there.
Let's go to race number 5 this afternoon. This one's 7 furlongs. Claim is fillies, 3-year-olds are 4 and up, non-winners of 2. 20 down to 16, scratch to 1, Science Friction. And Brian's got his late pick 5 ticket starting here.
$27 kicking off of my long shot racing colors. We'll get to this race in a second. 3 deep in that 2-year-old race. I go Darth Vader on the outside, the Gervin colt. The single, take the podium. This is a bold one, admittedly. We'll show a replay of that. That's a tough race. To me, it was go 3 or 4 deep or single. I went with the ladder angle, then a 3x3 late double. Number 7, Poseidon's Passion in the 8th. That tough one we mentioned. Number 4, Nacho Sista, the firster for Arundel and Juan Alvarado.
Yeah, pretty wide open affair
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned with all this racing. That's like you said, a bold single in race number 7. Getting back to race number 5, I'll start it off with the horse I had on top. It was 5-1 on the board, and that's Countless Dreams. 3 for 4 in the money at 7 furlongs. So you know right away I'm going there. I'm paying attention. Drop stretches out after following her open length maiden score at the 25 level with a poor showing. That's against 2 lifetime claimers going 3/4 of a mile. It's Kathleen. I think the stretch out move is key here.
Yeah, that could be it. I was a little worried that the breakthrough win came in the slop. Well, you know, that remains to be seen. But the stretch out, the other thing, I thought there was a lot of speed in this race, Ron, too. But if nothing else, Countless Dreams does get to break from the outside. And, you know, you've got success at 7 furlongs, has run well in all 3 starts at that distance. And I know you know, and I certainly know that's a tricky distance to do.
And you did go with the number 6 Racing Colors. Nice 10-1 on the board for Matt Williams with Lionel Reyes. And you got a video?
Yeah, let's check it out. I mean, this is the breakthrough win last time, and you know, I thought there's going to be a lot of speed in here too. Here he is sitting back and letting it all. She's letting it all kind of unfold in front of her, and I kind of think that's the trip she's going to get today too. And when she found herself, she really exploded late. Yeah, she rises in class, but let's just be honest. This, you know, there's no one in here to be scared of. And the other thing I like too is that Matt ran her for 12.5 in that race, and now he's going to come back for 20. So you know, she could have easily went to the bottom level here, and you know, let's try to get another win out of her. No, he takes a pretty aggressive rise in class, and I thought this was a good effort, Ron. It's something to build off of. She comes in off a breakthrough win, a lifetime best, got a lot of confidence, and maybe she gets set up again today.
Yeah, she should get the pace she needs to. You can see it coming off the pace there. What about the number 3 horse in this race, Mi Negrita, who was second to multiple stakes winner Kathleen O during the championship meet? Kathleen O was something special. Plunges into this conditional claimer, showed some speed and faded against considerably tougher, going long on both dirt and Tapita. Miguel Vasquez rides. I thought this one was a really intriguing possibility.
I don't disagree, and the fact that Miguel gets aboard is a positive. I will say this about her, because her form looks very muddied up. She has kept her speed, and that's a big angle for her because she is very, very fast on her day. She's been put in some tough spots. I don't think there's any doubt about that. She's certainly with her friends here today. She's very dangerous if they let her get loose early because she might not come back.
And how good was Kathleen O at the championship for Shug McGay, I believe. So that's what it was, right? Yeah, it was very good. What about the number 2, California Gigi, stepping up, turning back, finishes solid second against 12.5 claimers going that mile. Joe Orsino, Edgar Perez going to turn back in distance today.
34% from a 32 sample partnering together, Joe and Edgar Perez. So you're getting the best of it here. We can save ground down on the inside. Didn't run poorly at all. You know what I'm going to say here. Raspberry Belay was 1 for 31 going into that race. So
I know you're still mad about that.
I'm not going to golf clap to anybody running behind her.
Race number 6, really an interesting race on the card. 6.5 furlongs, maiden special weight, state bred, 2-year-old fillies in here with no scratches or jockey changes. And you went with the number 8, Dorth Vader, on top of your ticket.
Well, you mentioned the Gervins. Okay, Gervin as a freshman sire, 4 for 12. 33%, a very small sample admittedly, but he's come out of the box really, really firing. Dan was 8 for 40. She could run a little bit, broke her maiden in her second start. This is her 6th full. Not a lot to go on here, but I like being outside. We know Mike Yates with these first-time starters, 22%. And, oh, by the way, I want to get the leading rider to ride too. You would think there's some intent here today.
Number 5, Nice Baby, who's the morning line favorite, is stretching out to 6.5 furlongs after setting the pace, finishing second to an impressive winner called Pachuca, and was the odds-on choice going 6 furlongs for Jorge Delgado. Chantal's going to be back. Found the stat on Jorge Delgado with his 2-year-olds making their 3rd career start on the dirt. He's 3 for 10, 30%, 40% in the money, and a nice return of investment of almost $3.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big number right there for a barn. That we know how good this barn is. We're dropping out of an open maiden special weight too, and Pachuca was good that day, and now we're back with Florida breds, and you look at the debut run, they bet this horse hard both times. It might be go time today.
The number 7 horse near Shiloh was the daughter of Gervin, who's stretching out an additional furlong after tracking the pace, fading what she proved, I think, to be a helpful debut. At 5.5 furlongs for Carlos David. So what did I do? I found the stat on Carlos David with his 2-year-olds making their 2nd career start on the dirt. This is he's 7 for 25, 28%. 56% in the money and a positive return investment. So good numbers here with these jockeys posturing with their 2-year-olds, 3rd start, 2nd start.
Yeah, I use this horse too. I would have liked to have seen this horse run a little better on debut, but the stat Ronnie shows, I mean, it's tough to ignore it, and we get Edgar Perez as well, Arundel homebred. So I would think we're going to move forward today. How much, that remains to be seen. He's going to run a lot better today, though.
The number 4, Marvelous Lady, is another with license to improve this afternoon. Finished a disappointing 5th as the favorite in her debut for Safi. He's good. Maidens making their second start, too.
Absolutely, 27%. I mean, not to speak for you, but I wanted to see more from this horse, and that's why I put her in 4th. You probably put her in 3rd for that reason.
Exactly. Race number 7, about a mile and a 16th on the Topita, claiming fillies 3 or 4 and up, non-winners of 2 in life. Scratched the 5, Sweet Actress. You went with the number 1, Take the Podium, right on top. I got a little further down on my ticket.
So here's a good replay to show. The other ones were kind of window dressing a little bit, but this is a good one to show because we're not even in the picture right now, okay? We're way back. We're going to have the Ramsey colors coming into the picture in a little bit. Jose D'Angelo claimed this one out of, believe it or not, this horse wins this race. Where are we? Well, we're still not here yet. Here we come into the picture. Good job, Bob. Thank you. Coming in, and we're dead last, way behind. We know Sappy's not the guy that's necessarily going to crank him up. 2 turns on debut on the Topita. None of these things are easy. Now, listen, admittedly, she did run a 47 buyer. Okay, I understand that. It's not that we're not going to break any speed dials here. But she got up still. Somehow she does. I thought this was impressive, Ron. And my notes say, looking forward to what Jose does with this one, because he claimed, I think this is one of those really good claims, because now there's only one way to go from that win, and that's up. I thought she showed some greenness that day. And, you know, it's a bold single. We talked about it. It's a tough race. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's a good video to show because that horse was out of the picture, as you said. I did go with the horse you have in second, Mo Clips on top, stepping up to face winners after returning from the layup to defeat those 12-5 maidens, going a mile 70 yards on the Topita for Safi. He's good, winning consecutive races. You knew that already going in. I thought this was a logical contender.
Yeah, no doubt. It's ironic that Safi loses the 1 I've got on top, and here he is with Mo Clips, and she's a big, big threat in here. The other thing I didn't mention about the 1, it's the same angle with the 6. Yes, we're both facing winners for the first time. I think this is the right spot to have a chance like that.
The number 3, Splicer, is the only 2-time winner in the field. Moves to the Captain Davy Bond after the claim. Almost becoming a 3-time winner when she rallied from far back for the previous connections to finish second, beating a half length. New connections reunite the sophomore with Edgar Perez. Go back 2 starts. Who was in the saddle when this horse won? Edgar Perez.
That's a very good point. We've talked because we're running these kinds of races now. It's a very important note that Ronnie brought up. 2 lifetime wins in a field where everybody else only has 1 of them. We're trying to improve off the claim from Claudio Gonzalez. Easier said than done.
Yeah, that's for sure. Race number 8 this afternoon, a feature race, as we mentioned today, about 5.5 furlongs on the Topita. Starter optional, claim of fillies and mares, 3 rope, started for 20 or less, so the optional tag of $32,000, and there's so many different ways to go in here. I know you have a video that you wanted to show.
Yeah, because the gang's kind of all here. We've got Traves, Nikki Khan, and Poseidon's Passion all coming out of this race that Miss Aramet wins. We know how good she is, a multiple stakes winner. Bob's got it doped out for you. The 6 and the 6 is Nikki Khan, and a little further back is Poseidon's Passion. I went with Poseidon's Passion, but, you know, she ran second that day. Nikki Khan lost nothing in defeat because she's chasing Miss Aramet early on, and anytime you got to chase Miss Aramet, that's probably not going to work out too well for you. I know you've got interest in Traves, right? And I thought she picked up some pieces to run well too. I mean, Miss Aramet is just in another class against a group like this. All 3 of these horses in and amongst themselves ran very, very well. You know, regardless of who you like, Ronnie, I think this is the race you need to focus on coming out of it.
Yeah, you know, and I saw some speed in this race again. So Traves is returning to the starter optional claiming ranks. I think has the ideal stalking style needed to sit the trip. I think there's a lot of need to lead types. There are ones that want to be on the lead in here. But look at this daughter of Cantharo's record on the Topita. 7 starts, 4 wins. So I thought that was going to hang my hat there with Leonel Reyes at the controls, trying to get a little bit of a price. But it's such a wide open affair. So I put this one on top of my ticket.
Yeah, I saw the same thing you did. I mean, I went with Poseidon's Passion, but Traves is another one because of all the speed that Ron mentioned. I think both of them sit the right trip. You can't disregard that 4-for-7 record over the Topita. It's huge because you see some of these others in here. There's a lot of offers on the Topita in this race. She loves it here.
The number 4, Gitana, was one of the horses I put on the ticket. It's a little different here, making her Topita debut. Returned from the layup, stalked the pace. finished second to a hard-knocking horse called Rest of the Story, going 6 furlongs on the main track for Rowan Crichton. I find this horse intriguing in there. You get a little bit of a price with Rowan Crichton. It just wins races and bunches. And this one is doing something it hasn't done before, and that's trying the Tapeta.
Yeah, so I mean, if nothing else, she hasn't shown she can't do it, and you go against Rohan at your own risk. You've got a lot of speed in here. She did draw well to draw outside some of it.
What about Tracy Ann's Legacy, who we have in a third?
Well, she's another one, right, that I think can close. She routed last time on the Tapeta. That's too far for her. But back sprinting in here for Joe Orsino and Edgar Zayas, she might be able to pass some horses in the lane, too.
And the number one I wanted to just mention, the jockey change on the one, the Jesus Rios in that race. That's stepping up the competition, breaking for the rail. Responded in that first race after the claim by Cesar Figueroa, who's winning races here at a 35% clip. Like you said earlier, with this horse would have ran a little better, but this connections, you got to take a look. Maybe you put this horse somewhere on the Tri or the Super.
Everything he has sent out has been very live. Even if they don't win, they're running.
Right, so final race this afternoon on our Twilight Friday card is 5.5 furlongs on the fast main track. Maiden claimants, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, no scratches or jockey changes in here. And you went with the number 4 horse in there, Not Your Sister.
Yeah, you know, fresh new face. I went with, you know, I think there's firsters in here that have licenses to run well. Plenty of works here on display. Juan Alvarado won with a first-time starter a few weeks back. Arundel Homebred here. Chantel Lance here. 6 full out of the dam. 2 of them did win on debut. So you know, there's maybe some precociousness here. The
number 3, Irish Samurai, is turning back to 5.5 furlongs after responding to the surface switch when going long on the Tapeta with a late charging 5-wide second. Was 26-1 that day, going 6 furlongs on the main track. David Ford keeps the status quo. He's got the apprentice Jason Hueyas in the saddle.
26 is long gone today. You're going to get about 3 or 4. But
right.
Still, I mean, off that race, you have to think she figures in here.
And I went a similar way with the number 8 horse. You know, my song and melody, Daughter of Cats, my song debuting for Jose D'Angelo. Lasix, if this is a good spot for a first-time starter, maybe you go with horses like this.
Yeah, exactly. Took the dam 5 times to break her maiden, but, you know, we're outside. Jose, everything is live for this barn, too.
And that is the final race on the Friday Twilight card that we looked at. And now we're going to go to our lightning round. And as we do each and every Friday, check out those standings.
Yeah, and as we do each and every Friday, we remind you nothing's really changed at all because Miguel Vasquez just keeping on. But here's Lionel. Now, last week he was tied for second. I feel like that's a very under-the-radar second. Boy, he's doing a lot of good things.
He's doing a lot of good things. And Edgar Perez, we know, runs exceptionally well. And you know, it's just having a great summer meeting. Embassy Al Jaramillo will be back in a week or two.
Yes.
And a junior up at Saratoga. So those guys still hanging on, but they'll be coming back soon.
You'll be rooting for Junior tomorrow. I know that. We'll get to that in a second. Here's the contest that we've alluded to. And we unleashed it last week. Oh, we got the trainers. Yeah, Staffy.
I mean,
he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's up there by 20. So, hey, look, Rohan, you got to look underneath there so you can use in your exactas and tries here. You know, Jorge Delgado, 19, Joe Orsino, 17.
The podium is going to be, it'll be a fight till the end to get on that podium. But here's the contest. I was trying to jump the gun a little bit, but we got to remind you, it's $2,500 free dollars. You got to go to Silks on Saturday, get involved in this 6 picks contest. Our guy Santiago's over there trying to film us, making us look good on some of these videos this morning.
Yeah, you know, there was, I think, 6 winners last week. They got $833 each. That can be you this week.
Yeah, so we want to play it every week, too, because at the end, Labor Day weekend, the top 50 are going to play for $5,000. So get involved. Make sure you do it each and every Saturday right here at Silks. Our best bet, who you got today?
My best bet this afternoon is Klugman, and with the 2 scratches in there, there's no way you're getting 5-2.
Not anymore. No, he's probably loose and controlling in there. And for me, where am I going? A little early, 1 race earlier. Economic Hangover for Sappy, a Ramsey Homebred. Long shot for you today?
Traves. I was going to go with Traves a little later. I don't know when I'm going to get 5-1.
Yeah.
I thought with that wide open, there's a chance I can get 5-1, 8-1, or could be the favorite.
Yeah, it's a tough race. It'll be interesting to see where the betting public goes to. And then me, I'm a little earlier on the card. Right back, the maiden claiming win Racing Colors last time. Let's beat him again this time.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And we got some really nice horses running here tomorrow
Yeah.
with the 2-year-olds and horses that represented us out of town.
Yeah, our old buddy Skippy Longstocking, third in the Belmont, and he's going to run in the West Virginia Derby for Safi. Here he is winning a pretty good optional claimer earlier in championship meet. Still sunshine in there for Bobby D. Came back to win a stakes too.
Yeah, so a good performance. Skippy Longstockings, we'll be rooting for him for Safi Joseph Jr.
Lightning Larry is out of town tomorrow, the Grade 3 winner for Jorge Delgado as well. So horses that we've seen, Olympiad in the Whitney. I know you will talk about that tomorrow. Certainly Life is Good. And then, front and center, though, here, the Sire Stakes. Looking forward to that, the Desert Vixen and the Dr. Fager.
Yeah, such really exciting races.
Yeah.
Well, wide open and fast there. You see the field for the Desert Vixen. And who's the favorite in there at 5-2? Trust me.
Trust me for Dave Fox. And then the Dr. Fager, and no disrespect to the Philly division, I thought the Colts came up really tough. Kathleen O'Connell's going to run This Runs For You right back off a monster win.
Yeah, monster win, coming back in 13 days, and just an incredible one by 11.5 lengths.
A lot to look forward to there. And as we always say, hope always springs eternal. We saw Octane kind of blitz through that series last year, and it's just always exciting to see these 2-year-olds. Now we start to stretch them out, see where they're going to go, and obviously everybody's kind of hoping we can get on that Triple Crown trail here in South Florida next winter.
Well, that wraps up the early action here. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello with all the scratches and jockey changes, and we'll be back here for race number 1.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.